There's an immediate and obvious difference between the temples of Old Bagan and New Bagan. However, regardless of the era, there are only three basic building blocks of Bagan temples. There's the stupa, the block base, and the vestibule. It's the measurements and designs of the visible parts of each edifice that make them unique. And they are everywhere. Of course, the entire country boasts countless thousands of them as they dot the countryside and just about any visage along the nation's roadways. Each of them has its own story. Some of them are revered as having some relic from the Buddha buried underneath. But Bagan is said to have the greatest collection of temples in the country. In fact, this is the real reason Bagan is the cultural epicenter of Burma. From the 9th to the 13th centuries, it was the capital of Burma and the kingdom of Bagan, at that time pronounced with a sharp P sound, like Pagan. During this time, more than 10,000 pagodas were constructed overlooking the Irrawaddy River. The people of Burma were mostly Tibeto-Burman people, called the Burmans or Bamar, who had migrated with the Nanju Chinese raids and settled and fortified the Irrawaddy and Chin-Din River valleys by the year 850 CE. Their army was made mostly of conscripts, using infantry weapons like swords, spears, and arrows, but as Marco Polo reportedly announced, it was their elephantry corps that made them famous. The Mongols invaded in 1277 and remained there until the first decade of the 14th century. By that time, all remnants of the once glorious kingdom had diminished. Worse still was that a series of earthquakes is said to have toppled the majority of the temples. In 1996, French architectural researcher Pierre Pichaud catalogued those left over. He inventoried Bagan's 2,834 structures in an 8-volume series of books, naming, dating, and describing their artistic reliefs and histories. Of these structures, he said they were, quote, a balance between uniformity and diversity.